What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, we have a Bloomberg article talking about the next Assassin's Creed game, which turns out was kind of thrown together almost last minute. So I want to read it out and then, go over our, opinion on it. And again, this comes from Bloomberg. Ubisoft has turned an Assassin's Creed Valhalla expansion into a standalone title last year, featuring Basim, and I hope I'm saying that right, and a smaller scope than usual mainline AC titles. It will focus more on stealth gameplay, and it's planned for either late 2022 or 2023. This is a new standalone title meant to fill the gap before the arrival of the previously reported Assassin's Creed Infinity. It won't be a huge open-world RPG like recent entries, and obviously that was all tweeted by Nibel. Now, all right, on its base level, I don't mind. In fact, let me change it. I don't really care, okay? That's just the brutally honest truth of things. I don't care too much about what Assassin's Creed is doing over the last little while. I certainly am very worried about the idea of Assassin's Creed Infinity, just like I'd be worried about some sort of, the idea of making a live service game out of any main Ubisoft franchise, which they're doing to all of them. Far Cry, we've heard the same rumors as Assassin's Creed, so on and so on. So I'm not thrilled to put it lightly about that one. But I can say, is there something maybe like a positive to having an Assassin's Creed game that comes out this year that is like the other ones, but has a different focus, like they say, on stealth, and also isn't as long. One of the main criticisms of the past is that, and again, this is actually completely outside of my own problems or praises of the past games. One of the criticisms I think you see from the world is that they're very long. They feel very padded. They don't really feel, and again, they kind of differ, or maybe one is a little bit more than the other. So there is, I would say, actually a positive to something like this, where it's like, well, to those that like certain aspects but maybe just don't like how long and that it never seems to end and all this, well, this one is actually not going to be like that. So maybe that, makes people happy. Now, the criticism I will throw in is I'm not really a fan, because if you really look at it, in my opinion, if you don't agree, that's totally cool. We don't have to agree. But in my opinion, when you say something like, well, we're going to do DLC. We've done DLC for Valhalla, which they have, right? And, we were going to do another DLC, but, we're really in the mood for some extra cash at a certain time in the year. So what we want to do is, instead of making this a DLC, which, let's be frank, not many people will care about, let's instead make it a standalone game, because then we can, we'll have to put more money into it, we'll have to put marketing on it, stuff, but then more people will care, and then we'll make more money for. See how this works? So that's what I feel like the intent is probably the right word to use here if you're going to criticize like the meaning behind this. That's another great phrase. That is, I would say, at its core, what I'm not a fan of here is the intent behind. Now, you could say any game ever made has always been made for money. Let's be real, right? Obviously, the development, the creative team behind it wants to just make a fun game that they feel connected to and they feel passionate about. But ultimately, nothing happens in life, okay, without the idea of money behind it, which is fine. And I mean, you understand it. I understand that totally. But I don't know. I just feel like this one has a little extra deviousness in it, right? Where it's like, well, we know you make games for money. We know you want Assassin's Creed games to come out, but you weren't planning on it. And instead of just letting it go, making it the DLC, whatevs, going to Infinity, instead, you're just going to make it its own standalone game, which you're expecting people to, I assume, pay full price, $60. Now, to be fair to them, I'm sure they're going to add a little stuff to it to make it worth, or in their minds to make it worth $60, right? So we'll see how it goes, but I'm not thrilled with, again, the intent behind making a new Assassin's Creed this year. I'm also not a fan of what Assassin's Creed... I will say this. If this in any way delays or pushes back what Assassin's Creed Infinity will then become and will release into, I'm okay with that, because I really don't need to see what Assassin's Creed Infinity is. I'm going to be very not like against it, I guess would be the right phrase, but very cautious of this Infinity game until, I guess, it proves me wrong. They have not earned my trust. Live service games like this have not earned my trust, and I will not openly be completely cool with it without at least seeing something, first. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure, as always, you guys are subscribed to the channel. Hit the bell icon so you guys know when all of these videos go up. If you want to follow me anywhere else, all my social media is in the description below, along with our Patreon and YouTube memberships. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope to see you all on the next video.